Caitlin Clark has finally had enough. The rookie sensation and face of the Indiana Fever is no longer holding back her emotions or biting her tongue. After weeks of enduring physical play, relentless targeting, and controversial officiating, Clark exploded in a post-game interview following the league's suspension of Sophie Cunningham, and fans across the country are just as furious. The decision has sent shockwaves through the WNBA, igniting fierce debates about fairness, favoritism, and what it really means to protect players in today's game. It all started in the Fever's hard-fought matchup against the Phoenix Mercury. The tension was already high before tip-off. Cunningham, known for her fiery and physical style, was locked in on defending Caitlin Clark. The Mercury wanted to make a statement, and Cunningham was leading the charge. But things escalated quickly. A hard foul, a near ejection, and then a moment that drew the ire of the entire basketball world. Cunningham was seen throwing what looked like a deliberate shot near Clark's head during a scramble. No flagrant foul was called at the time. The officials let it slide. But replays told a different story, and by the next day, the WNBA had stepped in and handed Sophie Cunningham a suspension. For Caitlin Clark, it was the final straw. She's been on the receiving end of physical plays all season, some borderline, some clearly dirty. From elbows to the face to intentional shoves after the whistle, Clark's been tested like few rookies ever have. But she's kept her composure, responding with poise and professionalism, until now. Speaking after the news of Cunningham's suspension broke, Clark didn't hold back. At some point, enough is enough, she said, her voice firm and eyes blazing. I'm not asking for special treatment. I'm asking for fairness. There's a difference between playing physical and playing dirty, and the line's been crossed too many times this season. Clark's comments hit hard because they were raw, honest, and backed by facts. The suspension of Cunningham was just the latest in a growing list of incidents where Clark was either targeted or injured without appropriate response. Fans have watched in disbelief as some of the league's veterans and rising stars have taken turns sending messages with their elbows and hips, and the officials haven't always responded appropriately. Many WNBA fans, and not just Clark's supporters, believe the league has failed to protect one of its most marketable and influential players. Social media erupted with hashtags like #ProtectCaitlin and #JusticeForClark. Even some former WNBA players chimed in, saying the league has a responsibility to ensure that the next generation of stars doesn't get discouraged or driven away by rough play. The situation with Sophie Cunningham is particularly telling. While some fans applauded the WNBA for taking action, others questioned the timing. Why now? Why her? And why did it take so long to respond when Caitlin has been targeted repeatedly for months? Was Cunningham made an example of because of mounting pressure from fans, media, and sponsors? One fan on X, formerly Twitter, wrote, Caitlin Clark has been getting crushed every week, and now the WNBA decides to do something. Sophie's hit was ugly. But why didn't the league act sooner when Angel Reese, Carrington, and others got away with blatant fouls? Another added, the WNBA wants Caitlin Clark's spotlight, but doesn't want to protect her. You can't have it both ways. The debate even reached national sports shows, with analysts from ESPN, Fox Sports, and others weighing in. Some defended the league, suggesting that the game has always been physical, and Clark needs to adapt. But others argued that what she's endured isn't just part of the game. It's excessive, unfair, and borderline dangerous. Cunningham herself hasn't said much publicly since the suspension. Her body language during the game, though, told a different story. She was unapologetic, jawing at the Fever bench and smirking after the foul. That didn't sit well with fans either. For Clark, the silence from the league's veterans is just as loud. Outside of a few players like Breanna Stewart and Sabrina Ionescu, not many have come to her defense, and that's what makes her recent comments even more powerful. She's speaking out not just for herself, but for the game. This league is full of incredible talent, Clark said. We all want to compete, but we can't grow the game. If players feel like they're going to be punished for being successful or targeted for being in the spotlight, it's got to change. What makes this moment even more impactful is Clark's status in the sport. She's not just any rookie. She's the NCAA's all-time leading scorer, a global icon before ever playing a minute in the WNBA, and arguably the most recognizable name in women's basketball today. She's brought unprecedented viewership, merchandise sales, and media attention to the WNBA. The Fever's games are now must-watch TV. Ticket sales are through the roof. But despite all of that, the league has been hesitant to step in when Clark is repeatedly harassed on the court. That's what has fans so angry. This isn't just about one suspension. It's about the bigger picture, about the treatment of a generational talent, about setting the right example for young athletes, and about the league's role in ensuring fair competition. The suspension of Sophie Cunningham may have been the right call, but for many, it came far too late. Even NBA stars have noticed what's going on. Multiple players, including LeBron James and Kevin Durant, have commented on the need for the WNBA to support its young stars. One anonymous NBA player said, "If someone did to Steph what they're doing to Caitlin, there'd be suspensions. Every week, you have to protect your stars, plain and simple." It's not just about protection either. It's about respect. Clark hasn't asked for favoritism. She's battled through each game, taking hit after hit and still leading her team with maturity beyond her years. But the accumulation of blows, the targeting, the lack of consequences for others, it's worn her down. And now, she's drawing a line in the sand. When asked if she felt the league was doing enough, Clark hesitated before answering. "I think they're trying, but trying isn't always enough. We have to be better. We owe it to the game, and to each other." Her words have been met with resounding support. Fever fans rallied around her instantly, flooding social media with messages of encouragement and outrage. WNBA fans from other teams also voiced their concern, not necessarily to defend Clark, but to call for consistency and fairness from the league office. Some of the strongest reactions, however, have come from young fans, the same kids who idolize Caitlin, wear her jersey, and show up to games with signs saying, "I want to be like Caitlin Clark." They're watching closely. They're seeing how the league treats its brightest star. And that's where the real damage can be done, not just on the court, but in the hearts and minds of the next generation of players. For now, the WNBA's disciplinary action against Sophie Cunningham will stand. She missed games. The mercury will have to adjust, but the conversation is far from over. Caitlin Clark's words have sparked a movement, one that goes beyond a single foul or suspension. It's about respect, it's about growth, and it's about standing up when it matters most. As the Fever continue their season, Clark has made it clear she's not backing down. She'll keep playing, keep competing, and keep speaking out when necessary. Because for her, this isn't just about basketball. It's about making sure the league she's helping to build is better, not just for herself, but for everyone who comes after her. And judging by the reaction of fans around the country, she's not alone. The people have spoken, and they're standing with Caitlin Clark.